You love this video every year, so I'm back again to share my most used Sephora products from 2024, and we'll see which products from last year made the cut again that I'm still reaching for day in and day out, and which have been replaced with new products I discovered in the past year. So this video is different from all my other best of 2024 end of the year videos in that it not only includes new discoveries from the past year, but also favorites that have been in my life a long time. I'm sure there are more products and categories I could have and probably should have included, but these came to mind first. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, and let's get into these most used, most reached for Sephora products from the past year. Every year this video coincides with some kind of Sephora sale or event that's happening. This year it's the Sephora Gifts for All event. There are still 3.5 days left, and if you haven't yet taken advantage, I'm partnering with Sephora today to quickly share more information about that. So this is Sephora's biggest sale of the year because you can save 20% off your purchase with the code HAVEITALL and 30% off Sephora collection products. It's a one-time use code you can use through December 15th. You can shop in-store at Sephora, Sephora at Kohl's, online, buy online, pick up in store or curbside, or do same-day delivery. Beauty insiders can get free shipping and access to all kinds of perks throughout the year. It's worth signing up and it's free. So I'll have the link below so you can join or see more information about that. So if you need to grab some quick last minute gifts or something nice for yourself, there are a few more days where everyone can save 20%. I'm going to source and link all the products I'm sharing with you down in my description box along with the main holiday sale page so you can browse around. Okay, so I'm going to start with complexion first. That's just usually the way I do things. This is the first half of my under eye concealer corrector duo, or the first third if we're talking about under eye concealer correcting and setting. So whichever way you want to look at it, this is the first product that I layer and is my holy grail under eye corrector. This should come as no surprise to you if you've been subscribed to my channel. This is Bobbi Brown Skin Color Corrector Stick in the shade Bisque specifically, but there are 12 shades to choose from. A thin layer works phenomenally well to counterbalance the discoloration underneath my eyes. It has the right peachy undertones for me. It's very creamy and skin-like, perfect for dryness, texture, and fine lines. You know, the less layers, the better under your eyes, and this allows me to use less concealer because of how well it corrects with such a thin layer before I conceal. Using this before a concealer to correct that discoloration gets rid of that gray cast you can sometimes get with your concealer if you have dark circles. You probably know what I'm talking about. Side note, I have an entire video on how to effectively hide dark circles and under eye hollows. That's helped quite a lot of people. If you haven't seen that, I'll have it linked up here in a card and down below in my description box for you so you can catch it after this video. This has been holy grail status for me since it launched because of how creamy and hydrating it is and how well it layers with every concealer I've ever tried it with and how well it wears throughout the day. This is hands down my favorite under eye corrector, and I just bought 2 backups of it because this is all that remains in here. I use others, but this is my go-to, and this is the same from last year. It has not been replaced. I do have a new concealer though. Last year's concealer was discontinued, but I have a feeling that even if it still existed, this would have replaced it anyway. This is Tower 28 Swipe All Over Hydrating Serum Concealer. I'm in the shade DTLA. I mean, you can just see how creamy and hydrating it is right there. How do I love the? Let me count the ways. So first, the application. It is super creamy and hydrating. It blends out like a dream, and it layers beautifully if you need more coverage over a corrector and over itself without ever looking heavy or cakey. Second, the feel and finish. I'm just lumping those two together. It feels weightless and never clings or accentuates dryness or texture, and it has a smoothing skin-like natural finish even when it's layered, which brings me to the coverage. This is one of those rare concealers that actually delivers on its claim of medium buildable coverage. It even builds up to medium full, a little over medium full actually. I can't tell you how many times I've been let down by concealers promising the same thing only to find they give light to medium coverage at best, and that just doesn't cut it for me. Where are we? Number 4, the ingredients. It's fragrance-free, alcohol-free, and specifically designed for sensitive skin to be non-irritating, which is fantastic for around the eyes, although it does work great for the face too. And it has thoughtful skincare ingredients in here that do things like support collagen production, which I love, and keep the skin around the eye area hydrated throughout the day, which means as the day goes on, that thin skin around your eye doesn't start to look dry and crepey. I've tried some other serum concealers that have a thin, sort of watery texture, and they just don't perform the same as this for me. I just absolutely love it. I have a new foundation this year too. Let's go ahead and talk about that before we get into setting products. Now, I still use last year's foundation a lot, and the other products from last year that didn't make it this year, I still use and love them. If you want a refresher as to what those are, or if you're new here and you never saw those products, I'll have that video linked up in the corner and down below in my description box so you can check it out after this one. So the reason why Dior Forever Skin Perfect Foundation Stick is my new most used foundation from Sephora is because since purchasing it to test for a foundation review, I just keep reaching for it over and over. I'm in shade 2N, which is light skin with neutral undertones. By the way, I keep all of my foundation and concealer shade matches over on my blog so you can reference them at any time. I know that's a very helpful resource for many of you. In case you think you're my foundation or concealer shade match twin, I'll have that linked in my description box or my top pinned comment. I'm so picky when it comes to stick foundations because most of them have failed me. I still can't get over how often I keep reaching for this and what a success it's been for me. It glides on like butter and blends out so quickly. It melts into my skin and smooths my pores and is buildable from light to somewhere in between medium and medium full coverage, depending on how I apply and layer it. It has a very soft natural finish before I set it and a natural matte finish after. It also has some nice ingredients, which is a bonus. It feels nice and lightweight all day. It applies and wears beautifully on all areas of my face. My normal dry areas around the perimeter of my face and my shine prone areas in the center of my face. And when I do get shine in those areas, it never looks greasy. It blots well and doesn't break down on me, which kind of surprised me since it's a makeup skincare hybrid stick. When I was testing this to review, it was during the peak hot summer months, 100-degree plus days, 80 to 95% humidity, and it wore beautifully. It seems to actually look better and better throughout the day as my natural oils mesh with it and it settles into my skin. It's just an easy, quick product to reach for on a daily basis that looks natural and wears well. What's not to like? This was not a foundation I thought I was going to be reaching for when I first tested it because it's a stick foundation, but wow. I love it. My under eye powder is sort of the same as last year. It's very important that under eye powder not look like powder, especially for those of us that are over 40. So my under eye powder is sort of the same as last year. Last year it was Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in shade Light. This powder in general is beautiful for my dry under eyes with fine lines. It's very sheer, fine milled. It doesn't look like powder, which is what most people over 40 are apprehensive of when it comes to powder. It's also talc free. You do not need much at all. A little bit goes a long way to set your under eyes beautifully and it disappears. It doesn't exaggerate any texture, dryness, or fine lines. This year, Pat McGrath released the pink shade, which I use a lot. And because pink goes in and out of stock so much, I just want you to see how little of a difference there is between the two shades. I'm swiping the pink on top and the white on bottom just to show you how sheer and finely milled they are. I almost can't even feel them under my finger. So even before I shear these out, as they're swiped on, you can see this natural radiance that doesn't involve shimmer or glimmer. It's just a really natural effect. And then as I shear them out, you can see they just start to disappear and meld with your skin and become invisible. Now, now when you do that under your eyes, it's just really beautiful. I cannot emphasize enough how little you need. I do reach for the pink a little bit more because there is just a subtle brightening effect with it, whereas the light white looking shade is pretty much straight translucent. Although it's still brightening, it's just a different brightening effect. So I do reach for pink more this year, but I still use the white. I don't think you could go wrong with either. I had two face setting powders in last year's video. One was sadly reformulated, which turned out to be somewhat of a disaster. And I just recently changed my shade in the other one that I'm still using on a day-to-day basis. I ran out and decided to mix it up a little and try a different shade. As someone with combination skin who sometimes has dry areas but also gets shine and oil breakthrough during the day, I'm pretty picky when it comes to face setting powders. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've yet to find a setting powder that blurs my pores, as in can make them look like they practically disappear and sets all the areas of my face, both dry and oily, as perfectly as Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder. It keeps me shine free for a longer time than other setting powders that have similar claims. It's very soft and finely milled and is the best I've ever found at airbrushing my skin and minimizing my pores. I used the shade Pound Cake for a long time and ordered Cupcake with my Sephora order because I kept seeing a lot of people with a similar skin tone to mine using it. I just wanted to see how it would work for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So if you also have light to light medium skin tone, you may want to check out Cupcake. Pound Cake works too. Cupcake is a little bit more brightening, but they both disappear and work really, really well, and I'm still using it on a day-to-day basis. I've always reserved setting sprays for special occasions. Now, I still don't use them every day, but the Makeup by Mario setting spray that was released late this year has somehow worked its way into my regular rotation. I don't know what it is about this one in particular that I like so much better than any other setting spray. I just keep reaching for it. It's alcohol-free, fragrance-free, and it's hydrating without changing the finish of my makeup. It has an ultra-fine, evenly spraying mist, and it's one of those setting sprays that acts like a facial mist and setting spray all in one that fuses your makeup together and it takes away that powdery look, so everything just looks better and my makeup lasts longer. It feels like nothing, and there are nice ingredients in here too, which is a great bonus. Now, I did discover another really great setting spray this year that I reserve for days when I need my makeup to be extremely bulletproof. Those sweaty, hot and humid days I'm sharing in another video. But for day to day, this is my most used setting spray from Sephora. You know, last year I remember saying how much of a surprise the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette was for me. I almost didn't even buy it because I thought I wouldn't use an all matte palette. I dip into it multiple times a week, either for an all matte look or for a single shade or two. I line with the black and brown pretty frequently, and this is a fantastic brow bone and inner corner highlight that's missing from a lot of palettes these days. The shadows are creamy and buildable, blendable, and easy to work with. I still can't get over how much I use this palette, especially for a palette I almost didn't buy. Now, what's on my eyes is the new Makeup by Mario Moonlight Ethereal Eyes palette. I have the original Ethereal Eyes, really, really like it, and I wanted to get this one too. I got it about a week ago, so I'm still playing with it. I started out today with just a matte look on and really, really love that, and I added these two topper shades just very, very lightly right before filming. I love the depth and the cool tones that we have in this palette. This would be great for some holiday looks. I'll definitely be playing with this some more, but I have been dipping into it and the quality is just like the original with different shades. So I am loving it and wanted to share it really quickly in case you are putting a cart together for the Sephora Gifts for All sale and if you were curious about that palette in particular. I didn't intend for this section of the video to be Makeup by Mario. It's just the way it worked out, but these two shades of lip pencils have been used the most by me by far over the past year because both of them are very, very close to my natural lip shade. This is a new product from last year. The first shade I ever bought from Makeup by Mario was Hue. It was very, very hard to find for a long time. It went viral, and when that happened and I couldn't get my hands on it, I discovered Smoky Pink, which is a little bit deeper than Hue. I can use a light hand and it works really well for me. These have a creamy glide and nice opacity. They set down to a matte finish that feels really comfortable. It feels lightweight, stays put, and doesn't feather or bleed. It's a great pencil for slightly overlining, evening out your lip lines if your pigmentation has changed with age, as mine has, or filling in your lips to help your lip glosses or lipsticks last longer throughout the day. The pigmentation around the perimeter of my lips is darker due to a lip treatment or lip treatments that I've been using. I'm going to talk about that here in a second. So it looks sort of like I have lip liner on even when I don't. So I like to slightly overline my lips a little bit to bring back some of the fullness that I used to have when I was younger and fill in the light area on the inside of my lips. And these look really, really natural when I do that. I applied smoky pink lip liner before filming today and topped it with the Cinnamon Bun in Beauty Glaze lip oil, which I love. It tastes and smells heavenly. I have the single, but it comes in a few sets. This is the Glaze for Days set. I picked this up to give to somebody as a gift. You could also break it up and use these for stocking stuffers. They have so many fantastic scents, flavors to choose from. The ingredients are really nice. The formula is sort of a plush lip oil gloss hybrid. It's really nourishing and hydrating. So I just want to let you know I was wearing first off and just to give you a quick idea in the process. Guys, my Drunk Elephant Lippy Balm has been dethroned. I never thought I'd see the day, but it's here. Ola Henriksen Pout Preserve Hydrating Lip Treatment in Strawberry Sorbet is the new reigning queen. I just bought my second and I bought several as gifts for people this year. I still reach for Drunk Elephant Lippy. Don't get me wrong, it's still great and it is what regenerated the pigmentation around the perimeter of my lips. There is a specific lip peptide in there that does that. There are also specific lip peptides in here and other nice ingredients that keep your lips looking more defined, smoother and fuller, and that condition and hydrate intensely. Now there were 3 to 4 flavors when I first discovered this earlier this year, and now there are 4 regular non-shimmers, including Strawberry Sorbet, which has a mauve pink slight tint to it and a freshly picked natural strawberry scent. I love it. And now there are 4 glimmers, which I'm really tempted to try. I love the slightly thicker texture or substance that this has without being overly sticky. That allows it to remain on my lips and not slip right off. It's not so sticky that you can't squeeze it out of the tube like some lip balms, but it's not so runny that it slides right off either. It's just that perfect in between for me. I use this every day at some point. I have a new most used brow product this year from Sephora, Benefit Precisely My Detailer in shade 3.5. I actually had to make these lines a little bit thicker so you could see them on camera. This is a very fine, a micro fine 0.8 millimeter tip. If you want to mimic the look of a brow hair as precisely as possible without using a pen, which takes more time, this is great for that. It's not waxy. It glides on easily with little pressure. There's a spoolie on the other end. It looks natural and it stays on all day. I use others sometimes, but I feel like I just keep gravitating towards this one. I love it. This category wasn't in last year's video, but I use this pretty much every day, so I had to include this in this year's video. If you live in a humid environment like I do, this is a product you probably want to look at. This is Amika the Shield Anti-Humidity Spray, but it's also a heat protectant and anti-frizz spray that doesn't weigh your hair down or leave behind any kind of greasiness or texture or stiffness. It's great for all hair types and textures, even my fine hair that gets weighed down by everything. You shake it and spray it on damp or dry hair, although I prefer to use it on damp hair. This is the first styling product that I use. I spray it on my damp hair and then follow with any other styling products and then style my hair as usual. Do I still get frizz sometimes? Yes, but it is much less with this than without it. And this is a product that keeps my hair pretty straight and smooth even in very humid conditions, which is why I won't be without it and was really nervous nervous when I thought it was going away. I used and liked the shampoo and conditioner I shared in last year's video for a long time, but it's been dethroned. A lot of shampoos and conditioners for fine hair give volume, but then they dry out the length of your hair, or they just don't work for me, at least anyway. But Way Fine Hair shampoo and conditioner impressed me so much that I repurchased them. These are brand new. I'm trying to use up something I was testing out and using in the interim, but I can't wait to get back into these. They're great for all hair types that have fine texture. It doesn't matter straight or curly. They have some really nice ingredients in here, not just for your hair, but also for your scalp so that your hair is nourished from the root. And I can actually use this conditioner at my scalp and it doesn't weigh my hair down or make my roots greasy. They add volume and bounce and shine and soften and smooth frizz, hydrate and nourish and strengthen and help thicken your hair. I swear I end up loving every Way product I try. So it probably comes as no surprise to you that Way Detox Shampoo is showing up again in this video as one of my most used Sephora products. I don't even know how many years it's been at this point and how many videos I've shared this in. I use this about once a week to clarify my hair. It also has nice ingredients that don't dry your hair out or strip your hair if you color or highlight. They leave it shiny and healthy looking without a bad scent, which is huge for clarifying shampoos. I've been using this a long time, and because both my daughter and I use this, I buy the big jumbo refill bag to just refill my dilapidated bottles because it's a great buy. This isn't a Holy Grail products video, but I use my Holy Grail products day after day, so they do tend to show up in some of these videos year after year, like this one, Living Proof Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo. I use some other dry shampoos that I love and I have shared in other videos, but this one is always in my life, always in my rotation, because it doesn't just cover up dirt, grime, and odor and help prevent it in the first place if you use it proactively. It actually gets rid of it through this technology that they use, and it leaves your hair shiny looking versus dry, ashy, and powdery the way most other dry shampoos do. I've had friends use this and think it didn't work because it didn't leave a powdery residue. It's designed not to, but it works longer and better for me than any other dry shampoo I've used. I use this sometimes to give my hair a little bit of extra volume or texture, or to give my hair some grit before heat styling so my style will hold longer. I won't be without this. It's one of my most used hair products in general and from Sephora. Since we're talking about most used products and holy grails, I have to mention Tatcha the Rice Wash, which I'm sure many of you are sick to death of hearing about. But hey, when you test hundreds of products and keep going back to the same ones, that says something. This cleanser is based on what Japanese women have been doing for years, which is repurposing rice water to use in their beauty routines. It has vitamins and really nourishing, effective ingredients in here to, of course, cleanse effectively, but also soften and boost luminosity. The texture is creamy and luxurious, and it always leaves my skin looking and feeling soft and nice. It cleanses beautifully and never strips my skin. This has been a favorite since the first time I use it, and I've gone through countless bottles. I always have so much fun putting this video together. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and be on the lookout for more best of 2024 videos. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss those or any other upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.